All right, welcome in to episode 20 of Nope, not D&D Too Big Game. That's the party.
You pulled a Dom.
I pulled a Dom.
Damon and Dom's two-man game.
Episode 20 of Two-Man Game with David and Dom. If you're watching, you can see we have Dom here again in person for the second time on this podcast, visiting family for the holidays and such. So, of course,
And friends.
And friends.
And friends.
We're family. We're brothers.
Yeah, we're basically family, yeah. It's true.
So, we had to throw an in-person pod in here, of course. Dom, how are you? How's the holiday treating you?
Oh, it's going great. I'm very excited to be back in Texas. I'm going actually to a UT basketball game tomorrow.
Oh,
A college basketball game, which I've not been to a live college basketball game ever. I went to a women's one when I was like 5 or 6, and never since. So I'm excited for that. Excited to see friends and family and shoot fireworks on New Year's Eve at my friends. Very much looking forward to that.
nice.
But yeah, how are the holidays for you? How are they going?
They're good, on break now from work for this day number 2 for me. Obviously, you're on break as well. That's why you're here. Um, Played basketball yesterday with some coworkers because we're gonna have a student staff basketball game at the end of the year.
They're gonna crush you.
And yesterday gave me confidence. I was like, okay, I can see the vision here. I can see what we have.
You want to hear something funny real quick?
Sure.
I told my mom that you organized a faculty and student game.
Yeah.
My mom was like, "That doesn't even sound fun because the faculty are just gonna beat them." And I was like, "No, it's like part of like you're doing things together. Like it's not really about like the game. It's not really super competitive. It's just about having fun."
It's about the school community.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh, then what's the point?" It was so funny.
Especially because the school I'm at is it's a small private school, so
Right.
there's no like facilities, there's no teams or anything. So
That'll be
doing something
fun.
like that should be fun, I think.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Who's on the team? Anyone listen to the pod on the team?
Jared will be on the team.
Shout out
Shout out
Jared.
We'll talk about your team later.
We'll talk about the Pistons later.
Jared's on a cruise right now, so hopefully he's having fun with his family on a cruise.
Have fun.
I don't know if Anthony listens to this podcast. I've mentioned him before. He's the personal fitness or PE essentially teacher. He's going to be on the team. He played very well.
Hey, Anthony, this is to you. Listen to the podcast.
Listen to the pod.
Listen to the podcast.
You've
There's a
been-
microphone right here. That's what I'm talking. I'm not just speaking into the void. I just want people to know that.
Oh yeah, if you're watching, there's a microphone right below.
But yeah, I wanted to say like thanks for having me back in
course.
your beautiful studio again. I get to see the basket in person, which is going to be really fun.
You're gonna attempt the shot once
Of course,
more.
I'm going to attempt the shot.
You're not doing too much.
And as you see, I'm not really hiding my shirt, so we're both wearing basketball shirts. I actually have the exact same shirt, and I wore it yesterday. And
so we were gonna do this yesterday, but now we got delayed a day. It's the 21st of December, by the way. It's been almost 2 weeks since our last pod.
I was thinking about that earlier. But don't worry, you will see me in a ho 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 Merry Clutchmas shirt very soon. Till then, I just
That's
wear
what I got on. Yep.
Chicago Bulls shirt. That's what I'm wearing.
Which is a nice shirt as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I like it a lot too. But
I also shaved yesterday.
Looks good.
I got a haircut yesterday. I'm wearing hearing aids. If you could see that on the pod for the first time today, actually, today's the first day I've worn these.
Today's the first day.
Yeah.
Well, it looked good. And you know what's crazy? I was gonna say like this entire time we've had the podcast, you couldn't hear one word I was saying. You were just nodding along. Yeah, whatever he said, whatever. No, I'm kidding. But
that's not the case.
That's not the case. But now he's like even more sensitive to everything I say.
Yeah.
And can hear.
It affects me even more.
Which will be fun, especially being in the same room talking basketball.
Oh yeah. That's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna talk basketball. That's what this podcast is about, if you weren't aware. But yeah, Hanukkah is coming on, Christmas just around the corner. Kwanzaa after that. If you celebrate any of those holidays, we hope you and your families have a happy holiday as well. Last time on this podcast via Zoom, we talked about the in-season tournament wrapping up and all of that. Lakers won, of course, which we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the pod. This time, we're kind of just going to talk about, since it's almost been 2 weeks, stuff going on around the NBA the last 2 weeks. I have some storylines we have to get to that, all your other podcasts you listen to probably already mentioned because it's been almost 2 weeks since we've done an episode. And then we're going to talk about desensitization later. But I'll explain more of that when we get there. But first, we have decided this year, this podcast, we're going to do our friendly gift exchange here live on the pod because Dom and I typically get each other basketball related things anyways. So might as well do it on our basketball podcast.
Yeah, makes sense. And I have your gift right here for
Whoa,
you.
crazy you say that because I have your gift right here.
And in case you are listening, we'll do our best to describe.
Yeah.
And also, we just handed each other gifts.
And we'll try not to crinkle too much.
Yeah, we'll not try to sprinkle too much.
What's the order of operations here? How does this go?
So I got you one thing. So I don't
Okay.
know. And you got me how many? You said 3?
There's 3 things in there.
Oh, Lord have mercy. So should I just like do one, and then you do yours and I do 2?
Sure.
Okay, we're gonna do that. We're gonna
We're
do
gonna
that. So
pull out the first item. We both got bags, nothing wrapped here.
yeah,
So,
easy. So I'm gonna comment while I'm doing it. So I'm
yeah, it's gonna
trying
be
not to,
entertaining
a lot of
pod
wrapping paper.
content for you for sure.
Okay, I see a hat. I'm gonna grab the hat. Yo. Okay. Oh, this is sick. Yeah, I
take
gotta
the
show,
hat
I
out,
gotta show,
show
I
the
gotta show.
hat.
So the first gift I see is a white Los Angeles Lakers hat from the City Edition, or
It's a city edition
from 20.
either last year or 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago. It was 2 years because last year's was purple and this one's blue. This is sick. I was actually looking at this and thought about getting it, but I didn't. So I'm glad I didn't. And now I
And I
can
know, like,
wear it.
I know we talked about before, you don't really have like you have a Lakers hat, but you don't really wear it. I feel like we talked about that literally last time on this podcast, and I was like,
Yeah.
I got you a hat.
Yeah, no, that's I really do have. I have 2 Lakers hats. I only wear one, and then I don't. They're like baseball caps, so I don't have like a snapback. So
Yeah,
this is the one.
I couldn't remember your thoughts on snapbacks. I'm not a snapback person.
Actually, more recently I've been wearing them because it's just a different style,
Yeah.
and like it fits perfectly right now with what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
With my Chicago
I
Bulls
also really
shirt.
liked the Houston cream blue city jersey.
I
Except
love the blue.
the
The blue
bill
is
of that hat is cream blue
yeah,
on the
yeah.
underside, so I thought you would like that.
No, I love it. Oh, also like because it's dark blue Los Angeles and light
Mhm,
blue around it.
mhm.
No, I love that. That's like my favorite. I love when teams do like city and it's like a different color
A
than
different
what they
color,
use.
right?
That's like the best thing. So this is an awesome first gift.
Great.
Okay,
Yeah.
open yours now.
All right, all right. I'm excited.
All right, Damon's going to the bag.
Go
Damon.
to the bag. Let me take the bag away from the microphone so we don't get too much of the crinkling going on.
All right.
I'm just gonna reach straight through here.
All right. Okay.
What is this?
Pull it out. Let's see what it is.
This is good. This is good.
Yeah,
This is
it's a
the
little inside
yeah.
basketball.
This is what I mentioned to you. I said my gifts are kind of basic because I feel like we usually get each other like references, and this is definitely a reference. So for those listening, it is a shirt of the Dame shot over Paul George in the playoffs when he waved them bye bye. Um, and at the time, I was kind of a Thunder fan.
Yeah.
So it is a memory for me. But it's a great shirt. It's like I guess like top 5 iconic NBA moments since we've been watching and talking about basketball
And
together.
that's why that was
Um,
one reason why I wanted to get that. And also I thought it was cool because both those players aren't on their teams anymore.
Yeah.
So it's not like, well, this is a Blazer shirt or like a Thunder hat. It's like,
Sure.
oh, I'm a basketball fan
Yeah,
shirt.
yeah.
And anyone that knows that moment knows basketball. And
Yeah.
originally, actually, I was looking for everyone knows the picture of Dame in the huddle when everyone's like happy around him, and he's just like
that's a great picture.
So I tried to find a shirt of that,
That's a
but I
great
couldn't
picture.
find a good quality one. And I saw that, and I was like, "That's perfect." And
I love
I
it. Thank
ordered
you.
it. Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. I already have. While looking for that, I already found other good shirt ideas. So it's just gonna keep coming.
I looked. I delved into some Reggie Jackson. I delved
Yes,
into
yes.
some
Oh,
KCP.
didn't you say you were gonna give me a Reggie Jackson Clippers?
There was a Reggie Jackson Clippers jersey was on sale, and I was like, I kind of want to do it, but I just ultimately decided against.
Man, we gotta talk about him though.
I think they didn't have the size. The correct
Oh,
size.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, we do need to talk about him filling in for Jamal Murray. And his,
yeah, absolutely. But okay, I'll keep this moving. So
it's a great gift. Thank you.
oh, of course, of course. Oh shit, a beanie, dude! I was looking at this one too.
Were you actually?
Yeah. So this is last year's City Edition, and it's a beanie. And it's so funny because I have a LA Kings beanie and now I have an LA Lakers beanie.
Yeah, I was like, I know you had the Kings one, and I just thought this is a nice beanie.
No, this is sick.
Um,
Oh my God, this is
yeah,
sick.
I kind of told you this earlier, but I didn't. This was off air. But all of these things, I was just kind of looking through the NBA store on it was either Black Friday or Cyber Monday, and I just looked through like a multitude of things, and I was like, oh, this is like a sweet deal for this item that I think is pretty cool.
No, this is awesome. I love this,
Which
dude.
is
This
why I
is so
ultimately
sick.
got three things because all three things are like relatively cheap.
Yeah, dude, this is so sick. I love this, man. Are they all headwear? Please be all headwear. The next one, I thought this was a headband at first.
And they're not all headwear. The X was not headwear.
That would have been so
Smart.
funny. Let me
What
grab.
other headwear?
Oh, dude,
This is
this
now.
is
This is
actually insane.
this is the iconic.
No, this is the iconic. Okay, because I'm not even kidding. So, okay, let me.
I wanted to get you this for several years.
So let me show you the shirt. I'm going to show you all the shirt. It's LA Lakers champions. And it's the 2020 year with Jared Dudley, JaVale McGee, J.R. Smith,
They
the
all got
real MVPs.
they all got the big heads.
Dwight Howard, they got the giant heads. And you know what's so funny? Okay, so I have the shirt,
Yes.
but it's a medium. It's like
Yeah.
so it doesn't fit me anymore. And not lying, yesterday this was in my cart. It
Really.
was in my cart, but I was like, I'm not gonna buy it. I don't need to buy it. And now I got it.
I when
This
I
is
ordered this, I
awesome,
thought
dude. This is
I thought
awesome.
does Dominikas own this shirt? And then I thought I think he does own this shirt, but I've never seen him wear this shirt. So
Dude, I'm gonna wear it all the time.
I was like, I don't know. I was like, I thought he owned it, but I never see him wear it. So I was wondering if it was like a wrong size or if
This
he
is
just didn't like it
legit.
anymore. But I
Oh
was
my
like, no, you would
God.
definitely wear that shirt.
Dude, this is awesome. Okay. Merry Christmas. We're gonna live hug on the
Live
podcast.
hug. Tune
We're
in on
hugging for
YouTube to watch the hug.
watch the hug.
Um,
Okay. All right. Well, Merry Christmas, thank you. And I hope everyone is having a nice happy holidays. Thank you for indulging us
yeah.
on the pod. Now we can relive that
Now,
moment forever and ever.
if you if you skipped ahead, like all right, the basketball. No, I thought about putting this on right now, but I was like, I could
I
just
was
wear it
thinking
next
about we'll
next
just wear
pod
it. Yeah,
episode
exactly what's
to
that's
keep
what I'm
the
gonna do.
shirt streak of not wearing the same shirt. Which we're
Yeah.
20 episodes in, and I feel like I'm not even close. Still, like I
Yeah,
still
it's the
got.
same. I also have hats too, which I was gonna
Mm.
start like using hats. And now
Right.
I have beanies too. I could use.
Your
Um
head's gonna get hot wearing
dude,
a beanie and
oh, and the
headphones.
headphone. I didn't even think about that. Lord have mercy. But yeah, thanks for indulging us. Basketball time. Let's dive in some
Let's
basketball.
talk about basketball.
You
We're
know,
gonna talk about the Lakers.
yeah, I
So
don't have too much to talk about. We talked a lot about them last time because they won the in-season tournament. They've played 4 games since and they've lost 3. This is 3 in a row. They're playing the
okay,
Timberwolves right now as we pod. It's a close game, which is good. I mean, Timberwolves are really good,
without
and
LeBron.
LeBron is out because of back
Mhm.
to back. So we'll see what happens. Was watching these games. Their biggest issue is 3 points. Their 3-point percentage is not good. Like the games they win is when they just shoot league average.
Mm.
And they're I think their average right now is like 29%, which is very below league average. Should be like 33, 34. So they just need to work on their 3-point percentage. And also they had a lot of turnovers yesterday against the Bulls. Which I thought was funny because I'm wearing a Bulls shirt and they just beat my team. But I'm just a fan of the game at the end of the day.
Right.
But besides that, Gabe Vincent is back. So it seems like we're finally back to full health, which is nice. And when I was watching these players in the court, I'm excited to see what they can do together. And I think they just need some time to gel, everybody. And we'll see. They have a tough road trip right now, and we'll see how tonight's game works. I'm gonna keep checking in on it while we pod.
So,
But
you know, I think I'm on the losing side of this Austin Reeves, Tyler Hero discussion we had in our starting shooting guard rankings this offseason. Hero's been injured for the most part, but Austin
yeah,
Reeves is coming on. He came out of the tournament and is continuing that success. So
and
nice to see.
what I will concede though is that I think they've done a really good job of bringing off the bench.
Yeah, yeah.
So instead of like, when LeBron is out having D'Lo run the offense, they're having Austin Reeves out there and D'Lo to kind of just work together as like a LeBron
Mm.
substitute, which has been working really well. And um Heroes had some good games too, and the long season still ahead. But yeah, Austin Reeves is that guy. He's that good.
He is him.
Yeah, he is him. He's one of them.
Do you want to talk about
Oh yeah, I might as well talk about
yeah.
yeah. And so they won last time we talked about the in-season tournament and how they won, what they're gonna do, if there's gonna be a banner. and they unveiled that there's going to be a banner. So basically, it's going to be I don't know if you can look it up, but it's just says in season tournament champions on the top, and then it has very small to the left, like 2023.
Mm,
So basically, you can add more years to it.
right.
So as the years
Oh,
go,
so it's
yeah,
not another banner if they win. They just add
yeah,
more
they just
to
add
it.
a
Okay.
number to it.
I
Yeah, yeah.
see.
So they have an in-season tournament banner,
Yeah.
and every team will ideally have one, and then those had add years to it, which is cool. Like it's not as big as a banner of like they won a championship, which is
It's
nice.
different colors, right?
Yeah, I think it was
Like, isn't it?
black
Oh, is it black? I
because they
wouldn't.
usually do it the color of the team.
What's the championship banner
They're
for the Lakers?
yellow.
They're yellow.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought I heard that this one was going to be purple.
yeah.
So,
It looked black. It might have been purple, but it's
gotcha.
definitely not yellow for
It's like
sure.
obviously not the same
Yeah,
banner, which I think is important because it is a thing worth noting success you won the in-season tournament, but
definitely. But again, it's not in
not a
championship.
championship,
Exactly.
not an
So
area
so
OP.
I think they did a good job. I like that idea of like the banner adding years to it instead of just having a big banner for everything, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but now tell me about the Rockets. What are the Rockets up to?
I'll tell you about the Rockets. Yeah, so the Rockets, last time we talked about how they had lost like 8 road games in a row, and I neglected to mention that they had been winning at home though. So they won 11 home games in a row. They just recently lost to the Hawks, I believe, yesterday or two
Oh,
days ago.
yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching part of that game. So yeah, that's worth noting. I also want to note, one of my favorite players, Tari Eason, against the Spurs and Grizzlies. He had 18, 14, and 25 and 14. So having good games. He
Double
was out for
doubles.
a little bit at the beginning of the season, so it's
Mm.
it's nice to see him back. Dylan Brooks hit a three to put the Grizzlies away not too long ago, which was nice to see. Kind of a revenge
Yeah.
against them after they were like, we're not having you back under any circumstances when they like announced that last offseason.
Yeah.
And it was in Memphis, so I'm sure he was getting booed a ton and stuff like that.
Yeah, that
Um,
was a good shot. That was a crazy shot.
yeah,
Good for him.
Ahmed is back in the NBA after being in the G League. I talked about that last time. He's not getting consistent minutes. He plays sometimes, um, but he is back on the roster. Cam Whitmore still like not getting played at all, which I hate. And I've been kind of watching, of course, and then going back and looking after the fact. It seems like eBay has a kind of solidified 9-man rotation.
Yeah.
Um, Starters are Brent VanVleet, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Jabari Smith, and Shingun. And then off the bench, he'll bring Aaron Holiday, Jay Tate, Tari Eason, and then Jeff Green. Um, so
The one name that doesn't fit to me is Aaron Holiday,
yeah.
right?
Aaron
Like,
Holiday's it's a little weird. He's kind of a veteran point guard, always been a backup,
yeah,
but never like these other guys like Tari's kind of up and coming. Tate's kind of a guy that's been on the Rockets for
yeah.
several years, and then of course Jeff Green, his veteran presence. So Aaron Holiday has been kind of a weird. Like it's weird that he's playing instead of Amin or someone
Or
like that
Cam,
or
yeah.
Cam. But yeah, I guess I would just say it's probably because eBay is he was on the Celtics. He's a winning coach, and he's probably just playing the players he thinks will get the wins rather than trying to develop the young guys. So
Yeah.
I'd like to see more minutes for our rookies, but I think right now we're 13 and 12, so it's like
Yeah.
can't complain on the outcome of the season so far. I think uh, it's pretty obvious the Spurs, the Blazers, and the Jazz are not going to make the playoffs. So after that, it's like a 12-team race. The Grizzlies are probably going to start climbing back up with Jocko back, which we'll talk about
Yeah.
later.
We'll talk about that.
Um, so the Rockets, they have a chance to make a play-in berth. We'll see, but
We'll see. That'd be super exciting. You have to go to the game if they make it in the play-in.
well, if they're like a 10 seed, it's a away game. So depends, I guess.
Oh, I didn't even think
They
about
have to make it
that.
to a 7 or 8 seed.
Oh, so it's not the Lakers, so I have to go to that game.
Oh god, Rockets Lakers that'd be
9-10
nice.
playing. Please, Lakers don't make please
Don't be
this
the 9th seed.
don't be a playing team again this year. Just be the 6th seed, please. But that's cool. Okay, that's thanks for the update. I
Yeah, of
remember seeing
course.
watching Aaron Holiday play against the Pelicans, and I was like, why is he on the court? And
Yeah,
he did good things. Like he made his shots and he played defense. So I get when you're explaining like what the kind of coach that Ime is, like it
he's
makes
a
sense.
floor raiser, not a ceiling raiser as like a player. Like
Yeah.
he'll give you like consistently okay NBA production, whereas like Armin may have great nights and like really bad nights because he's a rookie still.
Mhm.
So I guess Ime's just going with people he knows can kind of gut out the wins every day.
Yeah, that makes sense. And also we are also going to talk about so just to kind of wrap up the in-season tournament.
Yeah.
The NBA came out with their all in season tournament team.
Yeah.
So it was Giannis Antetokounmpo, Anthony Davis,
Mhm.
Kevin Durant, Tyrese Halliburton, and LeBron James.
Yeah. Do you have any qualms with this team?
You know, I mean the team is elite, but I don't have any qualms, I would say. I'm trying to think like so they have representation from the Pacers and the Lakers who
The two teams in the finals,
the
of course.
finals, yeah. Um do you wait, are you gonna say KD?
I'm gonna say KD
Yeah, I know okay, because they got kicked. Yeah.
because he was only in one game.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So who do you think should have been instead of KD?
Now that's the hard question.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you have to pick a fifth player.
And the Pacers are the championship. Is anyone on there worth mentioning aside from Tyrese? Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
is it position? It seems
it
positionless.
it is positionless.
So who's the other guard? KD technically?
Well, I don't think it's position. I think it's positionless.
Oh, it is position.
Yeah.
Sorry, sorry.
Uh,
Yeah. So if I had to pick, like, who else would stand out?
well, I guess like the odd team off would be the Pelicans, right? Because they made the second round
Yeah,
and they lost to
but
the
then they
Lakers,
just
but
lost that
their second
bad.
round game was so bad, and no one was great on the team. But I feel like I don't know. Brandon Ingram was really
I was
good
gonna
in the game
say,
against the Kings and like okay it against the Lakers until the game got like way out of hand.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I guess
Uh,
I would like to see like Brandon Ingram on there. That would have been cool, just because. I mean, we know KD is great at what he does, but I mean, they did
or
get
even I mean, I guess you don't want to make it too Lakers lopsided, but even like an Austin Reeves on
okay,
great
okay. Damon will put Austin Reeves on there.
because he had like a
Fine.
really good tournament. Like
Yeah, we know it was great. It was dominant. Going into we won 7 games straight. Like it was a good time to be a Lakers fan after 3 losses. Oh my God.
I remember the good
I
days.
remember the good old days. It was just like 2 weeks ago. It's crazy. But yeah, I Brandon Ingram would have been a nice one instead of KD. But of course he's gonna get the nod. I mean,
He's Kevin
he's Kevin Durant.
Durant. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so now we just got some.
And we're gonna bounce around the league, some news, some storylines, some injuries,
Yeah,
some stuff we have, stuff that's happened over the last 2 weeks.
yeah.
First thing I wanted to touch on is Mitchell Robinson, who we talked about, I would say, 2 podcasts ago, because
Yeah.
he had some nice stories come out about him and all that. He had left ankle surgery, and originally he was going to be out for 8 to 10 weeks, and that's what I was going to talk about. But then this podcast got pushed a little bit because we're traveling and such.
Hmm.
Um, and since then, yesterday, an update came out. He's probably out for the rest of the year.
That is
So
insane.
it's a big blow for the Knicks. And then Jericho Sims, another center on the roster, is
Yeah.
going to be out a couple of weeks with an ankle sprain. So Isaiah Hartenstein, seems to be the last remaining center on the roster aside from 39-year-old Taj Gibson.
I believe he's 57,
Okay.
but good guess. So I hate to see that because Mitchell Robinson has been playing very good basketball this year, and even like Jericho Sims is a good backup for what the
Mhm.
Knicks are. I mean, Hardenstein's the like second string backup.
Yeah.
But the Knicks are still winning games. They beat the Lakers. They beat the Nets.
Mhm.
They beat the Suns, even though Bradley Beal went out. Like, so they've been like they just went on a road trip and they did pretty good. Like, you know, I guess I'm worried about them further on, but I mean Julius Randle turned it on when we because I know we talked a little bit about how we want him like this is the season that maybe he'll like slump, but then he just started turning it on.
He was
Jalen,
slumping bad, and then he,
yeah,
he started picking it up. So
Jalen Brunson has been. I went the game against the Lakers. He was just daggers left and right.
mm.
Like he was not missing. Which is really cool to see because I like Brunson as a player a lot, and it's cool to see. But I'm seeing further in the season, like they're gonna miss that depth at the center position for sure.
Mhm.
Because Hardenstein's not even like that tall. Like Mitchell Robinson is that presence.
Right.
He'll jump to from the paint to the 3-point line and block you. So.
And Julius Randle is big and kind of bulky, but I feel like he has such an offensive burden that he's not going to do that much on the other end.
Yeah, which I kind of get, but hopefully get well soon. Come back soon. Hopefully you're not out for the whole season, but we'll keep an update on the Knicks and whatnot. But I hate to see it.
Yeah,
But
sad news.
this next thing is crazy though. So we're gonna okay. So by this point, everyone has seen this, but of course we're gonna talk about Draymond Green.
Gotta talk about Draymond.
So I don't know if you sent me.
One of our least favorite players.
Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, what he does for a team, I love that it's unselfish basketball, passing, defending. I love that.
Mhm.
But everything else about him. It's
But
just so
then stuff like this
infuriating. You
happens.
don't need okay, so basically Draymond, there was an out of bounds play, and it was a Warriors ball, and they were trying to inbound the ball,
I think I
and
did to do this.
yeah, I think he's and Yusuf Nurkic was on Draymond Green, and Draymond Green does a spin move and like
Ah!
hits Yusuf Nurkic right in the head
Yeah.
and like KOs him. Like he falls like a ton of bricks. He doesn't pass out, but he like falls to the ground and he gets him ejected after a review. And he didn't even try to argue it. He just walked off the court.
Yeah, and some context to that clip, like Draymond's backing down, trying to get the inbound pass, and I do think Nurkic kind of fouls him, like he's kind of on him really tight,
Yeah.
like looming over him. Of course, Nurkic is, you know, 6, 7 inches taller than Draymond. Um, but the flail that he does is like so clearly not a basketball thing. It's like he literally, for our listeners here, somebody is standing behind you, and you stick out your left arm and just spin around as fast as you can and hit the person right in the face with the back of
It's
your
that he
hand.
kind of clotheslined him
Yeah,
is the thing, and
it was
it just
wild.
didn't like if he, so Yusuf Nurkic was playing like really good defense, was on him basically, and like Draymond Green's pushing him back, and whoever was taking the out of bounds play just pushes the ball in front, he gets the ball, but I don't know why he feels it necessary to literally hit the man in the head. Like, what do you think was going to happen? What's going through his head? And I mean, so like after the game, I guess reporters asked Yusuf
The
Nurkic,
presser.
yeah, during the presser, what he thought about Draymond Green and like the foul. What did he say?
So this was his response to the reporter that asked him. He said, "What's going on with him? I don't know. Personally, I feel like that brother needs help," which I thought was crazy to say. That
Yeah,
brother needs help is crazy
that
for
is
a
crazy.
foreign white guy to say
Yeah,
uh, to a black guy or about a black guy.
yeah.
And then he said, "I'm glad he didn't try to choke me," referencing the Rudy
Rudy
Gobert
Gobert.
thing
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we talked about. And then he said, "At the same time, it ain't nothing to do with basketball." And of course, after the incident, Draymond has been suspended indefinitely
And yeah,
in the league. The Warriors are working together to do some sort of like anger management counseling and some stuff. And it's kind of like last year with Ja, he had a similar thing where he had to get like counseling for the gun incident he had,
yeah,
and then he had to decide it was like okay, and then he came back. I feel like for Draymond with his history, and with the jaw thing with the counseling, he came back really quick, and then another gun thing happened.
right.
This may be longer than the Warriors want it to be, or that people might think it will be because it's the history of this guy's career. People have been talking about it for years,
Yeah, and
and this is the second incident in like a month.
literally, it's crazy. And I was watching some other opinions from other NBA players about Draymond, not his teammates, but basically, so the NBA is saying he needs to go to counseling, needs to do probably some anger management. But the fact that nothing has come up with Draymond Green in his personal life, like he hasn't shown this,
Mm.
you know, whatever on the court, and he doesn't
He's
have,
not Miles Bridges.
yeah, good example, good example about a terrible thing. You know what I mean? But exactly, like he is always on the court, so it's like just the way his brand of basketball. Like who knows if it's definitely a problem with him that he needs to work on. But at least it doesn't seem like it leaves the court,
Mhm.
which is good. But like it's just I don't know what's gonna because is also not apologetic. Like he did say he apologized for the use of Nurkic thing, and he said like if I never apologize, if I didn't mean it, I didn't mean it. I apologize. But even then, I'm like you could just be saying that now because you just
Right.
choked out somebody like 2 weeks ago. So you're just trying to cover your bases. Like when's the last time you choked out somebody?
Yeah, and
Um,
I think too, something worth mentioning about this whole incident that I think I want to say it was the Ringer when I was listening to Group Chat. It's like one of my favorite podcasts on their podcast network. They were saying like it something needs to happen internally as well with the Warriors organization. Because Draymond is often their leader in terms of the locker room on the court. Even though Steph is like their best player, Steve Kerr's the coach, Draymond's kind of like the leader of the group.
yeah.
But when he's showing something like this, do you think it falls to Steve Kerr to start holding him accountable? Do you think it falls to Steph Curry to be like, hey, like I'm the best player, and like you're doing some stuff that's clearly not okay? How do you think internally they can? help or prevent this from happening in the future. Because if it's your leader that is doing it, who is
It's
going
a
to
bad
kind of step
example.
up
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah.
I've always thought that how after every time there's a Draymond Green incident, his teammates always have his back, and also
Hmm.
the coach. That's just Draymond being Draymond. It's almost as bad as saying like boys will be boys. It's like
Hmm.
there's a reason why people are doing this, and they're not going to change unless you give them a reason. He needs to be held accountable for his actions. Like these are players that he's hurting. Thankfully, none of anything that happened proved, kept them out for, more than just that game. Yusuf Nurkic came back in, Rudy Gobert came in the game, but
I don't know if Steven Adams will ever have children.
oh, I forgot. I did. What's so funny though, since that incident, a lot of like highlight reels
Highlights,
as
quote
of him just
unquote.
hurting people is just so like, I do think it's the responsibility of the team's best players and management and coach to not condone this
Yeah,
type of stuff. I think that starts at practice. I mean,
the
Draymond Green
Jordan
straight
Poole
up
thing.
punched
Yeah,
Jordan Poole at practice.
at
Yeah, it's
practice,
like,
right?
how are you? Because it's not control, but it's you need to guide them into doing the right thing. And I guess that was off the NBA court, even though it was basketball related. It
Yeah,
wasn't on a court
and I
or like
I
on
I
like
definitely don't condone that, but after watching how Jordan Poole plays basketball this season, I'm like, yeah, I can understand why
look.
why he was getting Draymond
It's
stares.
annoying, but no one is annoying to the point of physically hurting. Like, you know what I
Absolutely,
mean?
you're absolutely right.
Of
I'm
course,
Josh.
of course, like, you're around people are annoying. You're like, I wish they would just stop being annoying. Sure.
Mhm.
But it's like, the answer never is punching them right in the face,
Right.
especially it's your teammate. Like, it's crazy. So I think it is a responsibility. And I think when that action is being taken place or about to happen, it sucks that they kind of have to be on like eggshells, like watching him at all times to make sure he's not doing anything bad.
Yeah.
But I guess it starts at practice. I'm sure like he does things like that at practice too, because that's how he plays basketball. But I think they do have a responsibility. I think it's more on the coaches and management than the players because you also don't want to be bossing them around. Like, yes, Steph Curry is the best player on the team. You're the leader, but you also shouldn't be like their parent, you know?
Yeah, it's just interesting because, like, obviously, this is the last kind of last hurrah, the last dance of sorts for this Warriors dynasty. I think
Yeah.
Steph kind of end up third age. Um,
Clay not, being, I mean, he
Clay
had it.
has been a disaster lately.
Yeah, he had a bounce back game against the Blazers, I think.
Wiggins got benched.
Wait, yeah, that is crazy, right? For Brandon Poshinski,
Yep, I don't know how to say his name, but yep, that's the
something like
guy.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah. So I get it is like this was the year not to be acting like this,
Hmm.
and who knows how much more he's going to be out. The Warriors weren't doing the best, but they're still able to stay afloat.
Hmm.
Um, Speaking about the Blazers, because I did mention it, they played the Blazers last week twice.
Hmm.
During the first game that they played, the Warriors did win in crunch time, but Steph's Curry streak of 268 games straight of making a three was broken in that game. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. 268 games. It's over 3 seasons of NBA basketball.
There was a picture of like the NBA, like who was on the team's win during that time, and it was like KD, Iguodala, like that Warriors. That was the
That's
last time he
wild.
didn't make a three, like on the Warriors. So it is crazy to think about. And
Have you
then
seen the other people on that list?
no,
No one else on that list is in the hundreds.
are you serious?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's like
That's
I think the
absolutely
highest
insane.
active streaks, at least in the league, are like around
Yeah,
60, 70, 80.
that's crazy. Well, I mean, yeah, Steph Curry is the best shooter of all time. It's about time to say it.
I think that's been
I know, but for me to admit it,
oh, okay.
to myself,
who
uh,
who did who is stopping you from?
Kobe. No, I'm kidding.
Of
No, no,
course,
no. Reggie Miller, dude. Come on.
Reggie Miller, Ray Allen.
Ray Allen classics, but yeah, Steph Curry for sure. Just watching this man is infuriating, and if he infuriates you as much, like he has to be the best at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
if he was on my team, I would love him. So I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy. And that's the game that the Warriors won. But then they played 2 days later, and the Blazers won. Anthony Simons and Jeremy Grant played crazy. But I do want to go back to ejections because Draymond Green wasn't the only weird ejection that happened.
Yeah, J-Bond, I think, was pretty obvious. But we should talk about Jokic at the United Center in Chicago against the Bulls on Serbian Heritage Night.
Crazy.
Of course, it's a West-East matchup, so Jokic is only in that building once a year, unless they meet the finals, right? Um, and he was complaining to the referee about a no call, and
Yeah.
he got a tech, which I believe is his second tech of the game. And when you get two techs, you get ejected automatically, and everyone was booing. Bulls
Yeah.
fans were booing, Nuggets fans were booing. Obviously, a lot of Serbian people were probably there for Serbian Heritage Night, seeing Jokic and all that. And it was in like the first half.
Yeah,
So
it was like the middle of the second quarter. It was very early in the game. I watched it after I heard about it, and I couldn't believe it. It's
yeah,
crazy.
it's like you just have to understand the situation and what's going on. We're kind of this is not the only kind of misplay ref thing that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Um, officiating continues to be my least favorite thing about basketball. If not every professional sport that I
Yeah, it
watch.
is it is kind of the worst thing, especially if when it is so it's so much power for something that is so subjective. You know what I mean? Like in football, there is you do a personal foul, it's pretty obvious you grab a face mask or whatever,
Mhm.
right? Basketball, it's so subjective. Like I could touch you or just have my hands up, you run into me and bump me, it's a foul, or I can push you to the ground, it's a foul. It's like the same thing.
Yeah,
You know what's so
and so
crazy?
inconsistent.
And then even with the we're gonna talk about a different one later, but even with this one, the no call, like just because I know for sure he's not yelling expletives at this referee, he's probably just saying like, "Come on, they keep fouling me." Tech, how does that make any
Yeah,
sense? Like
unless Jokic is like cursing out the official, then I understand it in that scenario.
everyone, and I don't like this about the NBA, but everyone that goes to a layup and misses complains.
Everyone,
Everyone.
yeah, for sure.
And what Jokic did was not special.
Yeah,
Like he
Jokic
just
does
did.
it. LeBron is a big
LeBron does
complainer.
it.
Luca is a big
Luca does
complainer.
it.
Yeah,
Harden, Kawhi maybe not as much, but like because that's just kind of like
everyone
his.
does the like
Yeah,
shrug
well, actually, Kawhi definitely does
as
that.
they're running back.
He
They're
goes
like,
like,
huh?
"Come on, he hit me." But yeah, that was I saw that and I couldn't believe it, and I would also be booing if I was there because
I think anyone who
I
goes
want,
to that game, even if
yeah,
you're a Bulls fan,
it's
you want to see
ridiculous.
Jokic,
I
right?
wish you could redact it. You know what I mean? Like just like okay, like
Redacted.
okay, sorry, that was
I
a little
lied.
much. That was a little I lied. But that was a big bummer. But you know who shined that game though?
Who did shine?
Our boy Reggie
Reggie
Jackson.
Jackson. Yeah, Reggie Jackson. Yeah,
Yeah, he led the way, and
that was still when Jamal Murray was out, of course.
yeah, absolutely. Reggie Jackson actually did a pretty good job during that time. So proud of him,
There's
friend of the
my
pod, friend of the
you
pod.
can see my signed hat over there on my Rockets popcorn mug.
Mine is back in LA.
Yeah.
But there was another tech that happened, right?
Yes, a weird tech that I didn't understand, and we just rewatched this clip before recording. But against the Lakers,
Yeah.
Tim Hardaway Jr. kind of gets a pass in transition, jumps, dunks it, kind of swings forward, swings back, lets go, starts walking the other way, and they call tech. Um, which like I don't really understand because I don't know what else you're supposed to do in the scenario. Like, are you supposed to dunk and like fly into the crowd? And I feel like the going back and the swinging to go back the other way just makes sense to me logically.
And see, I thought when you told me about that clip that he might have did a pull up, which also when you're swinging, it kind of makes sense. You want to make sure you're not hitting anyone under you.
Hmm.
But we watched the clip. He didn't do a pull up because a pull up on the rim is automatically a tech in the NBA now, which is
Mm.
insane. It's absolutely crazy to me. If you are not doing the Triple H suck it like Embiid,
Indeed.
who got a tech, or you're not like going in people's faces, like
Yeah.
yelling, I got you, like then you shouldn't be getting a tech. How's that unsportsmanlike? You got a dunk, you're hyped, you pull yourself up, you come back down. That's part of the game. It's okay. Like no one's getting hurt, or you know what I mean? Like it's
Let the
no,
players have fun. And
yeah,
this wasn't even a scenario of that. This
yeah,
was
it
like
was, and, yeah, good point. This wasn't even that. And I did watch this game, and Mavericks basically had control of most of the game, and they got it the tech, and it didn't matter, but Like, it didn't matter in the context of the game, thankfully, like, it didn't change, like, the Lakers didn't win because of it or anything,
Right.
but that shouldn't change the fact that it shouldn't have been called, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the game was in Dallas.
It was in Dallas,
And
yeah.
that kinda, ruins a moment for a crowd too.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
they see
like
a dunk in transition, they wanna be like, "Oh," and they call a tag on that, and they're like, the crowd, you automatically take that kinda hype away.
yeah, the refs got there's some I don't know, the refs
Cut it out, refs.
association, yeah, come like, let them have a little bit of fun, like, the obviously, like, if they are overdoing it, like I said, like, really
Mhm.
taunting I understand too, like, you don't want to get out of hand because that causes fights and whatnot, but especially something like this was
Dude,
not
I
even
love when
close.
players, like, lick the bench though.
But that's exactly, and, like, if anything, okay, if I would say that should be getting a tech over a pull-up on a hoop, but neither should be getting a tech, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
The bench thing is pretty cool. It's pretty cold. That's what, you know what I mean?
Steph is big about the, like, shoot the 3, look at
And
the
then
bench, and
yeah,
it
yeah,
goes into every time.
every
It's
time.
kinda crazy.
It's crazy. I actually prefer that to, like, this sleeping thing too, like,
Uh, the
I
same thing's kinda funny. It's kinda funny.
I'm just like, "You go to sleep. Why are you so tired right now?" But, I did watch that game and, a couple other Mavericks games recently.
Mhm.
Dante Exum has been doing really well. I actually looked him up because his name sounded super familiar, but I was like, "I have no clue who this player is." And
Yeah, he was with the Jazz, like, 8 years ago.
yeah, and then he played overseas for a while,
Yeah.
and then he's back, and that night he got 26, 4, and 3. He made like 5 out of 6 threes. It was
Yeah.
crazy. And he made a really big clutch one at the end. Like, Lakers were making every game, they usually are losing most of the game, and then the fourth quarter they like try to make a comeback. So it's always this kind of thing. And they were down by like 3 or 4, and
Mhm.
then Dante Exum daggered it with a 3. It was like 30 seconds left, he made a 3, it was a 7-point game. It's like, "Okay, that's the game," you know?
Mhm.
So, it's cool to see that he's, like, getting play in the NBA now and, like,
And he wasn't a
real
good
minutes.
shooter either, in his
Really?
previous stint
Oh,
in
I
the
didn't
NBA.
know that.
Yeah, so this is, like, totally, like, new development, for him. He was a really high draft pick, he was, like, number 5 overall for the
That's
Jazz
why I
several
probably
years ago.
heard it. Okay, because that
Uh,
name is super familiar.
but yeah, he was, like, a total bust or whatever, so,
Mhm.
he was out of the league, but it's nice to see a player like that come back and
Yeah.
have some success on a relatively good team, the
Y
Mavericks.
and, like, recently, especially since Kyrie has been out, which I don't even remember why he's out,
I
you
have no
know?
clue.
Yeah, it's
I know he's been out, I don't know why.
I hate seeing that, I really do, but, Mavericks have been had a hard schedule recently, like, they've lost a few games, won a few games, but, Dante Exum has been pulling his weight, he's been scoring for them, it's been pretty cool to see, so, nice to see that for the Mavericks. Luka has someone he could depend on.
All right, we're going to talk about next. We're going to talk about a take that I saw that I sent to you
Yeah,
because I didn't understand. So Gilbert Arenas, who former Washington Wizard point guard, very good for them, good for that franchise. He's kind of known on the NBA media for having some wild takes. Like he just says stuff that it makes absolutely no sense. Um, and this is what he said about Asar Thompson, one of our
okay.
favorite Detroit Pistons. He said, "You're 20, turning 21. You're averaging 10. You're not in my future." What are your thoughts on that take, from Gilbert?
I couldn't believe it because number 1, he's a rookie.
Is a rookie? Yeah.
Literally a rookie. Most guys don't sprout until, like, a lot later, and Asar was what, pick 5 he wasn't even, like, number 1 or 2, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, and he's on a team that is currently on a 25-game losing streak. And he's one of the bright spots. He's like the only guy that has not the only guy that puts effort on defense, but he's everywhere.
Yeah.
And he has been out in transition. He's been making like when he has shots, he makes them. He's not a high volume shooter 'cause that's not his thing. That's not why they drafted him.
Right.
He is a wing and he can defend, and he's on the best player on the other team already. That is a piece I want on my team.
Exactly.
Like everyone needs defenders. I think especially Gilbert Arenas is a scorer. He was a
Right.
scorer. So someone that like that I think will always value scoring above everything else, which I understand. I get it. Scoring is valuable. But you know what? Preventing scoring is sometimes more
There
valuable.
are other things in the NBA. Have you heard of rebounds, assists, steals,
No,
blocks,
no, only
those
scoring,
things?
only
Okay.
points, baby.
Role players, like,
Uh,
these are, important parts of the future.
I totally agree. Yeah, I think that's a crazy
It's
take.
a
I don't think
crazy
it makes any
take. I
sense.
think Asar is, probably a top 5, 6 rookie, so far this year. He's been really good.
I also think players that aren't in the league anymore should be cautious about what they say about young players.
Yeah.
Because if I'm a Sar Thompson and I like looked up to Gilbert Arenas and he said that about me, it'd be really demoralizing, you know?
Yeah.
Like what you say has consequences.
Yeah.
And I know that's maybe your opinion, but to say it so blatantly like that, and not even to say like with all due respect to Sar Thompson, you're not on my team. He's just like, no, you're averaging 10. Like, nah. It's like, what if that's his favorite player? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think there's some kind of responsibility that you're not in the league anymore, but you were, and you were pretty prolific. Like I remember going to DC when I was a kid and seeing banners of Gilbert Arenas everywhere. Like, you meant something to people, and then just like wildly throwing around things without any respect is a little callous, I'd say, So I think you have a responsibility just to respect these. I mean, he got drafted fifth, like
Right.
respect that.
This is one of the things I like about listening to Austin Rivers, who has a podcast with The Ringer as well called Off Guard.
Not in the league anymore.
I'm not in the league anymore.
Retired.
There was a workout video that came out the other day.
Oh,
He
really?
did like a workout for several teams, and he talks about it on his podcast. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to get on a team. Still, we'll see." I mean, he was a rotational player for the Timberwolves last
He
year.
was
So
bad.
yeah,
I don't know why I saw he retired. I'm like, isn't he like 29?
he
I think
didn't
he's like
retire. He
31.
just hasn't signed a deal.
I thought I got like I don't remember I misread or something, but I thought I said like I saw Austin Rivers declares retirement from the NBA. I was like, what? He's like
No,
30.
no.
Okay. That
But
makes
like
more
on
sense.
his podcast, he does like a good job when he's talking about the players. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's not like this or this." He's like, "Oh, but like I like this player, and like I think he does this and this good." Like he kind of, if he thinks he even says something that might be slightly offensive, he kind of doesn't go back on it. But he's like provides further context, and it's always like very respectful and nice
And
the way
that's
he
how
does
it
it.
should be. I mean, like basketball is a trash talking game. We know this. We do when we play. It's part of the game. But the thing is, when someone's good and you respect them. If
Hmm.
they don't respect you, why would you respect them, right? So that's what I like about basketball. Is a very like respect plays a big role in the game, on the court, off the court. And you can't just go around saying that you don't like these players, these players. Like one reason why I don't, and I'm not gonna throw this player under the bus,
Yeah,
but like LaMelo Ball is a player I've said I don't like. He is a great NBA player. He almost was averaging triple doubles. But every time he's in interviews or anything, people will ask, "Who do you think is the best at this in the league?" This, and he always says, "It's me. I'm the best. I'm the best at everything." I'm like, I get it. You like how you
it's good that
play,
you have self confidence,
but like
but
you're not the only person in the universe, and also like you need to back it up. Like your team isn't even.
I cannot wait to get you a LaMelo Ball jersey next year.
I'm gonna be furious. I'd be fuming. I would leave. I would literally leave in the middle of the podcast. Yeah, we're not gonna get into that, but coming from what you said, like there needs to be a respect,
Mhm.
but like across, like when you're in the league or out the league, like you don't have to like the player. You can think you're the best at everything, but you have to realize you're not. Like that's just what I.
Famously, your dad listened to the first episode of this podcast, and I said I hated somebody, like a joke away, and he said, "Take it out."
Which is
So your
sensitive.
dad
Though.
is a mover of respect. So
He very much is. He sees the world in black and white. Shout out, Dad. He very much is. You're right or you're wrong. There is no like middle
has
ground.
he never listened since then?
I don't think so.
He's like, that was it for me. I'm done.
Shout out, episode 20.
Hey, we know you're
Um,
still here.
yeah.
He's
But yeah,
looking
that's how I
secretly.
feel about it. And I like that Austin Rivers does that, and hopefully he gets signed to a team because he's a good player. He's a good player, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But yeah,
but talking about respect, I do kind of want to talk also about
okay.
the thing that happened with Giannis and the Pacers.
Wait, well, I want to finish up on the Pistons.
Oh, you're still going. Okay, so sorry. Please,
Yes.
yeah.
I wanted to say, in positive light to Asar,
Mhm.
and we counter Gilbert Arenas' arguments in that. Um, it was several podcasts ago. We did the panic meter on 11/17. That was over a month ago. It's 12/21. At the time, the Pistons were 2-10, and they had lost 9 straight. And I think, and I remember talking to Jared about this at work. Shout out Jared. That he was like, "Why'd you only give the Pistons like a panic meter of 2?" Because I gave them like a low panic meter.
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, they're rebuilding. Like they're supposed to be bad." That was over a month ago. Uh, they are now 2-26. They have lost 25 games straight. They just lost to the Jazz today without Laurie Markkinen, Jordan Clarkson, Keontae George, and Taylor Horton Tucker. Um,
Wait, but
25
was oh, who's the GOAT? Who's on the Jazz? Who's the GOAT? Headband guy, Canadian. I'm totally blanking on his name
Kelly
right now.
Olynyk?
Kelly Olynyk, was he playing?
Probably.
Oh my, that's why they lost.
Um,
Oh God.
but this is the NBA record is 26, so they're one away from tying the NBA record for most losses consecutively of
Just
all
keep it
time.
going.
They are still they're going to finish 2023, the calendar year, with a single digit amount of wins. So from like the season last
Yeah.
year until April, and then this first part of this season.
I
Um,
think to me, the two craziest things that are about this, one is that I think objectively they're a better team than they were last year. I
yeah,
think we could
they have
like on
changed who they did
paper,
have last year.
like exactly,
They
like
have a
they
star.
are
We
a
talked about.
better team.
Yeah,
Like they have the pieces. They're just not winning games. And two, Monty Williams is locked in for like 5, 6 years.
$8 million. He's like the highest paid coach in the
Yeah,
NBA.
and he is locked in. So he's on the sideline, like, man, we are losing, but I'm good for 6 years. That's the craziest thing to me when I think about the Pistons.
So maybe a two was not enough on the panic meter. This is a disaster. This is like
It's
this
crazy.
is going to create a lot of bad habits. There's going to be a lot of bad locker room morale. It's going to be hard to bounce back from such a crazy losing streak.
On the same note, did you watch the Wizards versus the Pistons game?
What do you think?
Yes.
No.
Ah, I watched a little bit of it because I was like, this has got to be fascinating, and it was.
At the time, they were both like 2-13, right?
Yeah, they were both tied for
Yeah.
the worst like record in the league. Wizards won, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what I don't know exactly what needs to be done either. I don't know if is it that the other NBA teams are just that much better? You know what I mean? Like it's hard to tell. I haven't watched enough. Honestly, I haven't watched a lot of Pistons games.
You know what's crazy about this is the reason I knew that all those people for the Jazz were out is because Woj posted about it on Twitter. Woj said like all these people for the Jazz are out. This is the time for the Pistons to not have the worst losing record in the NBA, and they lost. So,
Because they want the record. They want the record. They want to
that's
have
why.
27 losses.
And then they're going to turn around and have like the longest win streak.
Hey, knowing the Lakers, they'll probably beat the Lakers in February.
I mean, yeah, this is like we're on pace here to finish the season with single digit wins, which is just crazy.
To be like 9-73 at the end of this would
That would
be crazy.
to finish like the worst record in the NBA ever. I think the
it's
worst record is 9 wins, but it was like a lockout season.
lockout
so
season,
it was like 9-52 or something. Like it was shorter, but
that's still I mean, that would be insane. And I really hope it doesn't happen.
percentage wise, though, there's a chance here.
Yeah, I just hope it doesn't happen because, like you said, for the fans, for the team, like to end the season that way and then go into next year, like what are we doing? It's like I don't know. We can't really do anything. We'll probably have a high draft pick again, but like what is that gonna do? We've been getting draft picks.
The start of the season 2-1, and then there's 25 straight. It's crazy.
That is a crazy.
Like the fans are like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, we're back. We're back to being the worst. It's unfortunate. It really is. And I hope they turn it around. I don't know what needs to happen. I really don't. But I want to
Trade everything.
you still I guess you have young pieces, but
Trade
it's
them all.
They
for win now players.
I guess. Yeah, but then
Trade
what,
paid
like,
for like a role player.
just lose the Bucks in like the first round or something.
Oh, they're not making the playoffs this year.
Well, no. I mean, like if they did the win now stuff and
Just
like,
win now, just
yeah.
so they're not the worst team ever. But they still finish with like as the 14th seed.
That's crazy to me. But talking about the Bucks.
Oh yeah, that was like I was like
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
yeah.
I'll mention this, and you can talk about what happened because I think you know a little bit more. But basically, so what's awesome right now is that Giannis Antetokounmpo, Bucks legend, is now the franchise leader in points, rebounds, and assists.
That's crazy.
Passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I think, was the
who else Sandor at the time?
Yes, absolutely. Lou Alcindor. That's what you said. I in my head I was like, his name's Lou, and you said Lou, and I was like, it's Al.
Yes. I think actually I want to say the franchise leader in points before was Michael Redd.
I think he's on the list, but I don't know if he was.
Because former post post Kareem, Lou Alcindor, wasn't there for that long before he went to the Lakers.
It's true,
Um,
but he was dominating when he was there.
Oscar Robertson, he a Bucks player.
Yeah, Oscar Robertson. He's the Big O. He was with Lou Alcindor. He was the reason why they won.
Yeah, but he was also like a Kings player too, right? The Royals were they the
Yeah,
Royals.
they were the
Yeah,
Royals.
that was
It was kind of like the end of the his like not the end of his career, but like toward the middle, like he
mm.
started in the Royals.
Yeah, so
Um,
neither of them were on the Bucks franchise players
I don't
for a
know.
long
The
time.
the first thing I see here is not right. It just says career leaders, but it doesn't say what.
Okay.
So I'm like, but what does that have to do with?
Well,
Now this
while
is
you're looking for this, I think it's worth mentioning that Giannis isn't even 30 yet. And I feel like he got a slow start to his NBA career. Like he didn't come out of the gates like a 25 points per game rookie or anything like that. So it's crazy that he is the leader in points, rebounds, and assists now.
yeah.
Assists especially. But that's
Points was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
rats.
and Chris Middleton's number 4.
Is Michael Redd on this list?
Yeah, he's 6. So this is just points. I'm just looking at points, so not assists
Maybe it was
and
something else I was
rebounds.
looking at.
It might have been assists.
Mm. Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? But I was just looking at points. Anyways, it is crazy. And he's only going to get more is the
Right.
crazy thing. Because yeah, he's still in his
Do
prime.
you think Giannis is a buck for his whole career?
I would love to see it. I would like
I
I
thought Dame was going to be a Blazer, but I guess the difference
but
is that
he
Dame
won.
never won.
Yeah, so I think like some of the players right now that I would really this is gonna be a tangent, but some of the players that, like right now I would really like to be like lifers are I would love to see Giannis stay with the
Yeah.
Bucks. Love to see well Steph's gonna stay with the
Oh,
Warriors,
that
but
there's no way he
there's
ever
no
goes
way
anywhere
that
else.
not what comes to mind, I think it'd be awesome if Cat stays at Timberwolves. I
Interesting.
think that'd be cool. Just anyone that has like
Luca?
oh, I would love for Luka to stay a Maverick.
Yeah.
That's a good one. And some of the other players I was thinking of like Shea, but Shea was on the Clippers, so it's so funny to think
De'Aaron
about that.
Fox.
But Aaron, Austin Reeves, Laker lifer.
Retires number in the
Eh,
banners with everyone else.
Oh my God, I would love that. I thought Ox Caruso was going to be a Laker lifer,
No
but
way.
we saw how that happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a tangent. But related to Giannis, so he's the franchise
Giannis.
leader, which is amazing. But some drama happens.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of information. If you have seen this or heard this or read this, you already know. But basically, of course, we talked about the in-season tournament. Giannis, the Bucks played the Pacers, and the Pacers won. And we talked about Tyrese Halliburton doing the Dame time celebration at the end of the game when he hit a three. Um, and the Bucks did not like that apparently because this game was competitive from the jump. It was rough. It was physical. Giannis had a career high 64 in this one, which is nice to see.
Very nice,
Um,
very cool.
Early in the game, Halliburton had a dunk in transition, was running back, and Giannis hit him with like a little elbow, made him fall over. We watched that right before we started recording. And then later in the game, Giannis was going up for a layup, and Aaron Nesmith like wrapped his hands around his neck and shoulders and like brought him down. And Thanasis was trying to freak out on the bench, and Bobby Portis
Crazy
was all in there with the
eyes.
crazy eyes. So it's just chippy throughout the game, and then like at the very end of the game, the last 5 minutes, all the Buck stars were playing, even though the game was clearly out of reach, and none of the Pacer stars were playing. And they kept feeding Giannis the ball too, like trying to get his career high,
Yeah.
up and up, which I thought was interesting. Anyways, the game ends. The Pacers, and this is at the Bucks arena. The Pacers take the ball because Oscar Tshiebwe scored his first points because they were losing at the end, and he went in. Um, he did score in the in-season tournament finals, but that does not count as an NBA game. That's the only one that doesn't count as a game. So this was like technically his first career NBA points. So they took the ball, and then there's like a clip at the end of the game. You can see Giannis like sprint into the locker room
It's
because
three leaps, and
yeah,
he was in. It was
his steps are
insane.
crazy because he's trying to get the ball.
Yeah.
Apparently Buck security got the ball, and I didn't put this in the note. I don't know if you saw this, but after the end of the game, the press talked to Yas about it, and he said, "Yeah, they gave me the ball. Doesn't even feel like the right ball."
Did he really say
Yeah,
that?
he was like, "I don't know if it's the ball,"
Oh my
and I
god.
was like, "Oh God," because apparently like Buck security went to the Pacers locker room, got the ball, and then gave it to Giannis.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I don't know, this might not even be the ball."
But
But
that's just a crazy conspiracy thing to say, and also I don't want to say it doesn't matter that much. I mean, it matters obviously to Giannis and these players to get this ball. And I know like the NBA said that they're gonna give was his name Oscar?
yeah,
They're gonna give him like a commemorative ball
yeah.
because of the incident. But it's like he's like, this isn't the ball, you know? It's so interesting.
So obviously, there's a lot going on here. If we can talk later or
Yeah.
after about, is this going to be kind of a budding rivalry throughout the season? My question to you: who do you think deserves the ball? Giannis's career high or Oscar Tshiebwe's first NBA points?
You know, that is a great question, and I would probably side with first points.
See, I agree. And I was listening to other podcasts, and they were like, "Oh, it's Giannis. It's an all-time great, top blah 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 player of all time. He deserves the ball because he's probably never going to have higher points than this." And I thought to myself, and I said, "Well, that guy also has two MVP trophies, a Defensive Player of the Year trophy, a Finals MVP, a Larry O'Brien trophy. Like
A
Oscar
franchise
Tshiebwe,
leader, and like, yeah, is Oscar Tshiebwe gonna be?
he was like a 4-year college player at like Kentucky or Duke, one of the blue blood schools. I can't remember.
Yeah,
And like is very clearly going to be like a role player for most of his career. He's probably never going to have those big prestigious awards. So, like first NBA points may be like
the
the most
thing.
important thing that
Yeah,
happens in his NBA career. So I also think
yeah.
NBA points
That's
take.
why I didn't think it was such a big deal. Like, I know if that was me, I won the most points, but then you tell me, hey, he just made his first points, I'd probably be like, okay, I get it. Like, congrats, but maybe because of all the stuff happening during the game and like, the feelings that
Yeah,
of it, like going through it,
Giannis gets amped up. He gets like heated and like
he
emotional about everything.
it's so funny because he does have such a good nature. Like when you see him out off the court, he is very like even tempered talking to people and
Mhm.
everything. And then sometimes in the game, he looks scary. And those are the people that scare me the most. If you always look scary, you get used to it. But the guys that are nice all the time, and then you get them on the court and they are mean,
Yeah.
is scary. Like I kind of feel the same about Luca. Like Luca is seems like a very easygoing, but then on the court, he is screaming, he's yelling, he's trash talking. Like it's crazy. It scares. It's like scary to see. But um also just weird, like I don't want to say it's irresponsible to say like it doesn't feel like it's the game ball. What does it
Yeah, it's
matter?
such a weird thing to say. How would you even know what that feels like anymore after?
It's just like, hey, just take it. You got the ball. You got the ball, all right? So you won, you got the ball. I make a big thing out of it.
I mean,
But
how great of a say the Bucks finishes the 2 seed, Pacers win the play-in matchup, 2-7 first round matchup. Would
I
that
would
be?
love that. 7 game series question mark? That'd be sick.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
need it to happen. We need
I would fly to Indianapolis. We'd
in,
have to fly.
in NBA script. We gotta pull it together. Um, all right. I mean, the Pacers. Maybe they make a second round push. I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
see.
we'll see. But yeah, that was something crazy that happened. I definitely didn't expect to see that on my feed at any point,
Oh
something
yeah,
like
it
that.
was wild.
Yeah. But other news,
Other news. Keep
other
jumping
news,
around the news.
the Suns finally had their big three play the first game of the season,
The
and
first and only.
and I think kind of fun. We'll talk about that in a second, but fittingly, I thought it was very cool. It was against the Brooklyn Nets, so we get
Mm.
Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson,
The
who,
people traded. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I didn't know that Suns fans call them the Twins. They call Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson when they were on the Suns the Twins.
I'd never heard that.
Yeah, yeah. I was reading stuff and everything, and they were like, "It's good to see the Twins like come back and get the win.
You
Like, I'm
know
happy
the
for them."
the nickname I like for Mikal Bridges,
What was it?
Brooklyn Bridges.
That's a really, especially now, it's a good
Yeah,
one. But there's only one bridge in Brooklyn, so it doesn't make sense.
he's the
Okay, okay,
he's
I'm
the
kidding.
second
He's the
bridge.
second bridge. He's the second bridge. Yeah, and what's crazy is that the Brooklyn Nets come to Phoenix. Their big three plays. I'm sorry,
Finally,
the Suns big three finally plays, and they lose to the
they lose.
Nets. Isn't that's crazy? And then the next game against
The
the
Knicks.
Knicks,
Yeah.
Bradley Beal goes up for a shot, inadvertently gets his foot hit and comes down on it at a very bad angle,
Hmm.
and now he's going to be out for several weeks.
Yeah. So they had one game with the big three. They lost, and we'll have to wait and see. 24. I noted 24th game of the season. So third of the way through the season, they've had one game with their best three players.
They're lucky that they're able to stay afloat with just KD and Book, and also they're even taking time off, like alternating.
Right.
So, players that have been stepping up, Eric Gordon,
Yeah.
Grayson Allen,
Yeah.
definitely stepping up. But, if you really want to make this big postseason push, like you want to get a good seeding. Right now they're hovering right above 500. Kind of where the Lakers are right now. Lakers just lost, by the way, to the Timberwolves.
Oh,
Close game though.
I
That's
saw
what I
you
was
making some
looking.
faces over there. I was like,
It was a close game. I'll look at the highlights later, but they're around like the same in the middle up above 500. So, I hate to see it because I want a team to be at full health. But I also just hate the way he got injured because it was just an accident, like
yeah,
it wasn't like an old injury that got renewed after a game or two. It was literally just an accident of Dante DiVincenzo closing out and knocking like the side of his foot. Well, a foul was called because he fell, but because he twisted his foot, so makes
right.
sense. Um, but yeah, I mean, Knicks. Suns are staying afloat. Talked about the Knicks already. Um, but
Let's talk about
good for the
your favorite
Nets.
team in Los Angeles.
No, 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 no.
Tell
Okay,
tell me about the Clippers.
Los Angeles Clippers have won 7 straight games. Now I think it might be 8.
Nope, they lost today.
They lost?
Yeah, that's why I was just looking.
Yeah, oh, thank
They
God.
lost to the Thunder by 20.
Oh, okay. I did see that earlier. Okay, thank God. So the Clippers won 7 straight. I watched a little bit of this is what I'll say. I'm gonna from a neutral standpoint.
Yeah,
So Clippers are looking very good.
Harden's looking good.
Harden's looking good. What I like is that they are playing. They look like they have good chemistry. Like they look like they're having fun. Like when he first joined the team, there was no chemistry. They were all trying to figure each other out. They lost 5, 6 straight, and then thankfully they beat the Rockets. That not you know what I mean. Thankfully for them that they beat the Rockets. Obviously, I didn't want them to win that. Harden made like this crazy 4-point play at the
Oh
end of the
man,
game.
that made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, and me too. I threw up. No, I'm kidding. But it's nice to see now that they have this chemistry building. Harden made his shot, got fouled, and was doing snow angels on the ground like 2 days ago.
I don't have the stat in front of me, but I know like the first 10 or so games of the Clippers, Harden had like his worst at rim field goal percentage of like his career. Like it was super low.
Yeah,
But in this like 7 game win streak, his rim field goal percentage was like 70% or something insane
crazy.
like that, which was like the highest it had ever been.
Yeah, and I think when I was watching it yesterday, I didn't see, or 2 days ago, I didn't see Paul George playing. So I don't know if he was taking a break or something.
Who knows?
But they're all taking breaks. But hey, at least Kawhi has played 25 straight games for the Clippers since the 2016-2017 season. Or, just in his career.
When he was on the Spurs.
When he was on the Spurs back then.
That was 2 teams ago.
Yeah. And you have a note here is when he finished third in MVP.
Yeah, that was the
Crazy.
Russell Westbrook MVP. James Harden was second. Kawhi was third.
Oh, that's great. Is
That
that
was-
when
that was the
Westbrook
last-
averaged a triple double?
Yeah,
That's why
that was the last time Kawhi played 25 games in a row.
crazy. That is crazy.
I think his first season with the Clippers, 2019-2020, he played 15 in a row at some point during that season. That was
Gotcha.
the closest he had been.
Well, I'm glad. Like
It's nice to see you.
yeah, because I think I was telling you, like, whenever I would go see the Clippers, it was always Paul George.
Mhm.
I did see Kawhi play this year against the Blazers, so like the first game of the season. So
Yeah.
of course I saw them. But good. I hope that he keeps playing, and he's looking good too. Kawhi's looking very good.
Yeah.
So love to see that.
Yeah, you have your best player actually playing games. Your team's looking
And they're
okay.
looking good. Yeah.
Wow.
I hate to see it.
I hate
No. And all I want.
I still want a Lakers Clippers series.
It'll happen. Don't worry. It'll happen in our lifetime. And the Lakers will win. And if not, it's the end of it all. It's the end of everything. If they're gonna win, I'm gonna wear all 3 of these Christmas presents I got. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna lose faith in basketball.
Dom's off the pod. So.
It's just Damon's 2-man game now. But no, I don't. But above all, I'm a fan of the game, and I'm glad that they're healthy and playing. That's the end of that, really. Yeah. Tell me about the Cavaliers.
Okay. The Cavaliers, a team I thought would be really good. I think I want to say I had them as like the 3 or 4 seed when we were doing our standings
Mhm.
earlier this season. They've kind of been struggling all season.
Yeah.
Currently, we got Evan Mobley out 6 to 8 weeks, having a knee surgery, and we also have Darius Garland fractured his jaw. He's out for several
Gee,
weeks.
do you know how?
I feel like I watched this play, but I don't remember. But
Okay.
it's not the first time in his NBA career that he's got like hit in the face and like
Oh,
broke something
geez.
in his face. So
Hope he gets well soon. That's crazy.
yeah, so two of your best 3, 4 players, right? So gotta have Donovan Mitchell carry the load until they come back, I guess, and hopefully they just stay afloat enough.
You know who did have a really good game though? I saw, who is Sam Merrill?
Mm.
He
The
had
guy we
a
watched in
career
summer league
high,
that
yeah.
couldn't miss a single
He
three.
had a
That
career
was
high, like
nuts.
26 points, and he made like 7 threes or something.
Summer league, that guy could not miss a
He
three.
could not miss.
So
I
that's
would have
nice to
paid him
see.
to miss, and he wouldn't have missed. But do you think was it Imani Bate
Amani Bates.
Armani
Amani Bates,
Bates? That's
yeah.
it. Is he gonna get more minutes? Do you think for the Cavaliers?
Maybe. I don't know. When you get to this point where you have players out, I feel like, and you need to figure out the guys who
Yeah,
are going to kind of finish out your rotation in the playoffs, like the 8, 9, 10 spots. Uh, now would be a good time to kind of experiment,
yeah,
rotate those guys out and see, what you got in them.
yeah. It'd be cool to see him play more minutes because I liked him a lot in summer league too. And so Timberwolves, like I said, just said they just beat the Lakers, so they're 21-6 now,
Ah,
still
yes.
still the best in the West. Everyone is playing really well. I've watched a few games of theirs, and they're passing the ball very well. They're defending great. The game I watched, Anthony Edwards was not playing well, and who else but Troy Brown Jr.
Of
came to
course.
the
The
rescue.
savior.
And I mean, Gobert is playing defensively. Crazy Cat is playing super well.
Jaden McDaniels has been very good for them as well. Nas Reed
Absolutely.
off the bench. They're somehow the thing that really blows my mind about this team is making the Rudy Gobert, Cat, Nas Reed, 3-man center rotation work, but they've found a way to do it this year.
Yeah, Nas Reed for six man of the year, it would be pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I see that. I could see Austin Reeves six man of the year, and then Ben Simmons six man of the year is dead. I said that in the beginning of the year
Ben
because
Simmons hasn't played.
I know.
I
Yeah,
should have put that on here. The
yeah,
guy's gone again. He's
yeah.
out.
I
He's just
know.
gone.
But yeah, that's Nas
Malik
Reed's been
Monk.
playing super well. Malik Monk, that was I was like, there's one more, and then I mean, what else? Last to end with, but welcome back, John Morant,
Yes.
Demetrius.
Yeah, so he had his 25-game suspension. It ended first game against the Pelicans. He had 34, 6, and 8, which is, I mean, that's a great stat line to have in your first game back.
Absolutely.
I mean, it really looked like he didn't miss a beat. Like it looked like
Yeah.
he was in perfect basketball shape, um, which is hard for a lot of people to do when they're off for so long. But I guess he had been, getting, working out and doing stuff in the gym when he
Yeah.
wasn't playing. And he even hit a buzzer beater for them to win this game, which you love to see. And they were down by 24 at one point
That's
in the second
crazy. And the
half,
Pelicans are good.
and
Like,
came back and won. So this is what the Grizzlies needed to see. They were 6-17 before this game, I
yeah.
think. So now they're 7-17. Uh, it's a big reason I had him as the 11 seed was the absence of Ja, and he may come back and just win a bunch of games for them. We'll see, but
Yeah. They
it's
got a long way to go. But, this is positive. I'm glad to see John Morant back on the court. Basketball's better when a team has their best player on the
right.
court, obviously. And yeah, we'll see what happens. This is a good sign. Even that last play, if you watch it, is very John Morant. Like
Yeah,
he just knew what to do, just dissected that defense and made that last shot. It was crazy. But good for him. Glad he's
it's
back.
it's interesting to see players like him who have been off the court for some time come back and doesn't look like they're missing a beat. Where you have other
Big.
players that feel like they should be at that level that are not.
Yeah.
So good for him. Good for the Grizzlies. Hope that they kind of bounce back and
Yeah,
finish off the
absolutely.
season strong.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, I want to talk about a topic that I thought was worth talking about. I thought it fits in for this kind of year. Talking about I think I wanted to title this episode "The NBA is the gift that keeps on giving" because it's holiday season.
That's a good one.
Um, And I feel like we don't appreciate the NBA enough as not us two, because I feel
Yeah,
like we're
but
we're pretty appreciative, but
yeah.
yeah, just the people in general. So, um, The idea I had was, are we desensitized to what goes on in the NBA because, a team like the Pacers is averaging 140 points a game, and stuff like that. And back in, however long ago, even 10 years
I
ago,
don't
it's
know,
like,
growing up, it was like you make 25 points a quarter.
right.
That's all what you want is your mark, 25. And you get to 100, that's pretty high scoring, and then you
Right.
go further.
Yeah.
That's how it was, yeah.
So, here's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I pulled some stats here, and I want to read them to you and read them to our listeners.
Read them to me.
And I want you to guess a range of like how long of a time did it take for these stats to occur?
Okay,
Does that make
got it.
sense?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, 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 like 2 games or 15
right.
games or whatever. Okay.
So here's the stat breakdown I have. From Joel Embiid, 34, 11, and 6. Darius Garland, 36, 6, and 5. Benedict Mathurin, 38 and 7. Terry Rozier, 34 and 13. Bogdan Bogdanovic, 43 and 3. Julius Randle, 34, 8, and 5. Keontae George, 37 and 3. Taking some spaces there so people know it's not 37, it's 30, comma
And
7.
7, yeah, yeah.
36 and 5 for Zion, 35, 8, and 6 for Luca, 41 and 11 for DeMar DeRozan, 29, 8, and 3 for De'Aaron Fox, and then 34, 6, and 5 for Kawhi Leonard. So all of these stats right here, how this is just me doing some research.
Yeah,
How over like a date range, how
yeah.
many like days, weeks, whatever do you think it took for these stats to occur?
1 day.
It was 1 day.
Yeah.
1 day of NBA basketball.
That and also so, okay, I want you to know I didn't know that, but I knew you asked me because it had to be 1, it couldn't have been a
Right.
week.
Right. And that's
But
yeah.
it is insane.
This was I think when I thought about this was I think the 12th. So I think this is the games of the 11th of December.
Okay.
All stats from games of the 11th of December in
I
the NBA.
I remember seeing the Bogdan one 40. I was like, so he's back and he scored 40 for the Pistons and they lost?
No, that's Bogdan of the Hawks. Bogdan Bogdanovic,
Not
not
Bojan
Bojan. Yeah.
Bogdanovic. Oh my god. Okay. No, that makes
The
sense. Well,
Pistons would love some of these
yeah,
scores.
I was about to say. I'm only human. No, Bogdan. No, I remember seeing that. That is crazy. He's just making those threes. Crazy. But yeah, I mean, if you see him on the national team, he can make those shots.
Yeah.
But I remember when you brought this up to me, you asked me like about
Hard word.
desensitization.
Yeah.
That's how you say it.
Nailed it.
And I didn't know what you meant, but I was paying more attention recently to this stuff, and I was watching Maverick stuff. And I mean,
With Luca, it's every
With
game.
Luca, it's great. I was watching.
You texted me about
It was
the
yeah, it
first
was
half performance he
yeah.
had.
He had 28 points in the first half.
Yeah.
What? How does that make any sense? That is insane. And then and it's crazy because he'll make 28 in the first half, none in the third quarter sometimes, which is fine. He's assisting, getting rebounds, and then make 10 in the fourth quarter, and it's a 38-point game. I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
I think 2 or 3 podcasts ago, the Mavs beat the Jazz by, like, 55, and Luka
Yeah.
had, like, a 30-point triple-double in, like, the first
Yeah,
half.
and in first half,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just, so I don't know if you're gonna lead up to this, but why do you think this is happening?
Yeah, I didn't know where this talk would go. I just thought it was interesting, and by the way, like I said, this is 1 day. You could go look at any
Yeah,
day of
yeah.
the NBA, and Shea has 40, this person has this person has that. That's not a big deal. Like, it's like people are so used to it, which is
Mhm.
like even like I feel like the times we were most shocked recently is like last season when Donovan Mitchell and Damian Lillard both had 71.
That was
Um,
crazy, but within a week of each other.
yeah, but like all these like 2005, somebody has 41 and 11. That's like a career game. Like, that's nuts.
That's 2K numbers. These
Yeah.
are I've been seeing this a lot. Like, this is stuff I made on 2K. When during the pandemic, me and Damon played 2K all the time,
Yeah.
and I would make stats. I would get stats like this. Damon was like, "That's not realistic. I don't like this." It's happening.
It's literally happening.
It's happening. Can't even believe what 2K is. They're probably making 200 points a game or something on 2K or
So
something.
yeah, I mean, I think the most obvious reason is the NBA is much faster pace. It is a league of a lot of possessions. Shots are going up quicker, lots of transition buckets, and that just leads to both teams having the ball more. And if both teams have the ball more, then both teams shoot the ball more.
Yeah.
So scoring will happen. I think some people will point to like, oh, we don't play defense, which I don't think is true. I think there's a lot of defense played in the NBA. I just think when you have guys like Luca, like Embiid, like these guys that are so hard to stop, especially with the way the game is officiated and fouls are called and such, it's just really hard to prevent them from doing that, especially because I think a lot of the prolific scorers in the league now are good playmakers. So, like when you try to double team them or something to alleviate pressure, they
Yeah.
get passes to open guys and stuff like that.
And that's how
So,
Luka gets triple doubles in the first half. Telling you that right
right.
now. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a combination of pace plus defense with the officiating. It's just kind of hard to lock down those guys, plus their like added playmaking ability. Um, it just leads to these crazy numbers, these crazy nights, and it's like it's normal now in the NBA,
Yeah.
which I think is interesting. It's like not a big deal to have 30 anymore.
Yeah. It's a big deal if the game is like 97-92.
Yeah.
Like I remember
It's
it
like
was
what happened? Oh, they
early.
missed all of their threes. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
it was early in the season. It was Lakers Suns, and the Lakers barely won. And it was like first
It was like
KD.
106, 103. I think I or was that the
No,
no,
it
that
was
was the
90.
in-season game I'm thinking of, I think.
Yeah, yeah, it was 90, like 7-95 or something. It was below 100. Both teams. It was crazy to see that. Uh, I think another reason, and I'm just gonna say it, I think the players are better now
Oh,
than they were.
definitely.
You know what I
I'm glad
like?
you said that because
Yeah, yeah.
that's
I
also
just like
yeah, yeah.
it's so funny to have these arguments like, okay, will this 80s team beat this modern team? And the answer is no, because these people in the league right now have been training for this moment since they were 4 years old.
You heard it
Most of
here,
them.
guys. The Detroit Pistons of 2023 are taking the 96 Bulls.
We're taking them down. Taking them down. Jalen Duren's blocking out Rodman. No, he can't do anything. Michael Jordan, who?
No, that
Killian Hayes, yes, please.
I think, I'm really glad you said that. That's something I should have brought up, because, I think back in the day, it's like, oh, we have 5 players, 10 players that are, like, super elite. It's like every team in the NBA has, like, a super elite guy, and then a lot of them have, like, a secondary elite guy. So yeah, I do think the talent in the NBA is definitely, more expansive, which is why, we talked about Dante Exum earlier, why guys like that get out of the league because there's so much talent.
Exactly. And
Uh,
that's what I love that they're talking about expanding the league because I think there is so much more talent out there and opportunity out there
mhm.
for other players. Like we're saying, I mean, Cam Whitmore should be a starting is he small? I thought he was a point guard, but he says a small
He's a small
forward.
forward.
Yeah, which is great. I'm not even kidding. All of summer league and
He was
up
handling the
until
ball, so
he was always on the ball. I was like, this man's a good point guard. And even when we like met him, like we didn't meet him, but we saw him in person. I was like, he's a point guard. I didn't think anything of it.
yeah,
But like he could be a starting player. And
right.
like all these other players too, like are so good. All these players in summer league teams that like can be on professional basketball teams. So I hope it's really I hope to see expansion
They
soon.
they have talked about it like it's certainly gonna happen in the
Yeah.
next couple of years.
And I think that'll be really cool.
Think in Vegas because they started doing the summer league and it's
Absolutely. And
there.
also, I mean, they have the Raiders now. They're getting the Athletics now to like Vegas is gonna be like the next
Yeah,
place. And I don't want to talk about the Athletics. Go in there. That's
and then Seattle.
Seattle would be sick. Bring back the please bring back the
I think
Supersonics.
that's two West teams. I think you bump the Grizzlies to the East
Yeah,
because Memphis is not in the West
not in the
anyways.
West at all. 'Cause it used to be Vancouver. That's why.
Right.
Yeah,
So I think that's like the obvious
yeah,
cities to be. Um, I don't know, St. Louis. They used to have a basketball team and a football team.
yeah. Oh, I didn't think about that.
Now they don't have either anymore. So
I mean, Austin
and a fourth
could,
Texas team.
but
I
Texas
feel like
is
San
that
Antonio is
big.
so close. I mean, literally the Clippers and Lakers are in
Are
the
in the
same
same
stadium.
Knicks
So.
and Brooklyn Nets are in the
Yeah.
same like but like Austin's growing a lot and people talk about it a lot, so I could see that. Um
You just have to build a stadium somewhere.
oh I mean there's places. But we'll see. But
Adam Silver, we know you're listening.
yeah, we know hey put
If
a
they
team in
build a team,
Galveston, put a team in
if they
Galveston.
build a team in Austin, you have to become a fan of that team.
No. But when Cam Whitmore is starting, then you have to be.
Sure.
When LeBron signs. Yeah. Did you want to do some? I was thinking maybe we could do some quick Christmas Day, just predictions,
Oh, sure. Yeah, read me
just real
the
quick.
games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that's
and
good. I
just
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. So first game Christmas Day, Bucks Knicks. Who you got?
Bucks, easy.
Easy. Okay. I'm gonna say Knicks just to mess
Okay,
with you.
okay.
Warriors Nuggets.
Nuggets, easily.
Reggie Jackson. Yeah, what can I say? There's Reggie Jackson effect. Celtics Lakers.
I'll go Celtics.
That hurts me.
You go
I'm
Lakers.
rooting late. Oh, I have
You
to pick
have to.
them.
You have
I don't want to. I have to
to.
pick them. 76ers Heat.
That's a good one. Much to my chagrin, I'll go 76ers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They've been on a
They've
tear
been really good.
lately.
Embiid
Embiid
is
has been
he has like
averaging
multiple 50-point games
30.
for the
Yeah, yeah.
last week.
It's insane. And then last Mavericks Suns.
Mavericks.
Yeah,
Luca.
absolutely. Yeah,
Luca.
yeah. Luca. Who's gonna stop him?
I said Celtics against Lakers. I wonder what LeBron's Christmas record is.
That's a really good question, and that's a really good answer that we can find in just a second. But while he's looking that up, I just want to say thanks again, everybody, for listening, subscribing, and
Yeah.
sharing this if you do. If you have any ideas for what to talk about next, um, we appreciate it. We appreciate you. Hope you have a happy holidays.
So LeBron James is like king of Christmas. I like this.
That's great.
That's a 10-7 record. Okay, so it's not great.
Yeah, 10-7s. It could be worse. It could be better. So I guess we'll find out if it'll be 10-8 or 11-7. 11-7 would be nice so that it rhymes. 11-7 for
Yeah.
Christmas. But yeah, just again saying, just we appreciate you listening. Not sure what we'll talk about next time.
Or watching. This might be the last podcast. Actually, this will probably be the last
Yeah.
podcast of 2023.
But
But Dom and I are both have some more traveling to do.
Yeah, but good news is next week me and him are gonna play some basketball.
Yeah.
Some live basketball.
We'll have some live
basketball.
basketball. We'll
Ball playing basketball.
we can have like a video on the YouTube channel that's not a
That would,
podcast
of us
channel.
playing
Yeah.
would be ridiculous.
That'd be
It would
great.
look insane.
I'd enjoy that.
Let us know if you want. Hey, let us know if you want us to do that. Then maybe if we get
Yeah.
15 views and likes, we'll do it.
What? That's big numbers right there.
I'm just saying.
Uh,
I might be down.
Yeah, we both have some traveling to do. We'll be together for parts of it, not together for some parts of it. Going back to
Boo.
our hometown of Galveston, which is about 4
Yeah.
hours away from here. See friends and family and such. And yeah. So I think our next pod is probably going to be right after the new year. I don't know, like
Yeah,
the
something like
5th,
that.
6th of January, somewhere around there.
Yeah, sounds right.
So yeah, it'll be another week and a half. But it's the holiday season, so what can you expect? We got things to do. We're not just sitting at home, so we can't just make the podcast.
Yeah, y'all watch basketball, form your own opinions, hang out with your family, challenge everyone to a game, trash talk them, don't apologize, and just have a happy holidays.
Have a happy holidays. Yeah.
You know what we have to do though right now?
What do we have to do?
We have to do the shot.
The shot, the Dominica shot. Dominica
Oh, is it just me? Is it just me?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
you
okay.
never do it because you're never here.
It's
so
true. Okay, thanks. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm never here.
Angle yourself. Make sure your
Yeah,
arm has the right angle. That's
Yeah,
very
and also I
important.
don't want to block the basket, which I'm definitely not going to do. Okay, so here we go.
Do
So
you
we
want
got
to switch seats? Do you want to do it from here?
No,
Okay.
no, I live here and
Okay.
okay. So I got the if you're listening, I'm going to take the shot that Damon does at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, I haven't
every
made it
time.
in like at least 10 episodes.
And I think you're gonna make it next time
Oh, really?
because
I can
No, I'm
hear
gonna make
you.
it right now. Here we go.
I have my hearing aids on.
Oh, all right, I forgot you can hear me.
It's
Everything
like
I say.
super hearing.
You can hear what I think even. All right, here we go. 1, 2. Well, at least I hit the door.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah.
I can take an attempt.
Yeah. Here. Yeah. Take it a attempt. Take it a attempt.
The ball rolled back is faked.
You're closer. You're closer. It's not
I am
fair.
closer. This is much closer than I normally do.
Yeah. Here we go.
That
That was closer than my shot, but hey,
rats. Well,
that was a good one.
Mine was an easier shot.
Yeah, but again, thank you for listening. Have a happy holidays.
Thank you for listening, watching, like, subscribe, share, text, post on social media. Say, hey, this podcast, It's all right.
Better than others. Definitely better than some.
Better than the Joe Rogan podcast.
Definitely better than that. And I'll stand by that. But once again, this has been two two-man game
There it is.
with Damon and Dom.
Buckets.